Alright, this is my first time doing something like this, so I hope it's something good and something people can enjoy. I'm a wrestling fan. My older brother got me into it when I was at a very young age. For my first podcast episode, I want to talk about some of the better wrestlers within history. Not older, but more so like WWE's history. Where do you think we should start? Iconic ones. Do you think we should maybe start Hogan and then talk about where he's at now? Do you think? Do you think that'd be an interesting one?
Hogan was a good era. I actually
All right,
saw Hogan wrestle.
all right. Share your input just a little bit.
Um, I saw him wrestle in St. Louis. Crowd went crazy. I wasn't a big wrestling fan, so wasn't really drawn to him. I did have a few matches there, but he had a very good match, and I'll never forget that day.
All right. So to sort of explain things, in the '80s, Hulk Hogan came to the WWF, which was Vince McMahon's father's company before Vince took complete control. He needed something he could merchandise from and something he could make money from. A character bigger than life. So what he found is he found Hulk Hogan. He was a heel before he ever turned face and joined the WWE. A long, long time ago. What happened here is that's when they started the Hulkmania phase. The crowd went wild for it. Merchandise was crazy. One of the most charismatic characters of all time for his time. Had several different rivalries with the likes of the Ultimate Warrior, Jake Roberts, one of the more famous ones, Andre the Giant. Several had programs with the natural disasters, mainly earthquake, and of course had fights with the chairman himself, or well, the former chairman, Vince McMahon. Now he's not doing so well because, in my opinion, he basically sold out to bigger businesses. But he still is a big name in wrestling. I just don't approve of his actions as much anymore.
In the history of wrestling, he will still stand out well. Just currently, a lot of people are almost disappointed in his change of priorities.
Next person I want to talk about, I'm a big fan of Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. He started out in his career working in Texas as the Texas Tornado. Basically jobbed a bunch of matches before they called it being a jobber to kind of get a start. Later on, he would be signed to WCW, where he would start as Mean Mark Callis and be managed by Paul Heyman for a while. Not too long after that, after not being super happy with his contract there, got signed by the WWE by Vince McMahon. Originally, when he debuted before the Survivor Series at a house show, if I remember right, they called him Kane the Undertaker before they just switched it to the Undertaker. And he was managed by Brother Love for a short period of time. Shortly after, they brought in Percy Pringle, otherwise known as Paul Bearer, and he came in and managed The Undertaker after Ted DiBiase and Brother Love did their part. He's had a long, storied career, fighting several different people like Mankind, The Rock, Hogan, Kevin Nash, several people. Triple H, Stone Cold, Batista, Mark Henry, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, everybody you could think of, even Randy Orton. So he's also one of the bigger names. He retired a few years ago around the time of 2020, early 2021, if I remember right. So there's our part of talking about him. Another great would be known by a couple different names. Stunning Steve Austin, one half of the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman. Steve Austin when he went to ECW, and then what we know him as today, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Texas Rattlesnake. He originally also started his career in Texas, just like The Undertaker did previously. He did a lot of matches, obviously too, jobbing to kind of work his way up and work his way through territories. What happened there was a similar story, because he made his way to WCW. Of course, they linked him up with Missy Hyatt and Brian Pillman, Hollywood Blondes, and then he became a part of the Dangerous Alliance with the Tully brothers. He started teaming with them. Again, Paul Heyman is his manager. That was a big thing. A while after, things didn't quite work out with him and Eric Bischoff, so he went to ECW and kind of started off with the pre-era of his Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick there, doing parodies of Hulkamania and dressing up as Bischoff and kind of doing shoot promos to air out how he felt about WCW. That was an interesting time for him because he developed what would be the Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick. Shortly after his time in ECW, he made his way to WWE as the Ringmaster, managed by $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Eventually, he broke out and started his own, first ever basic singles career after winning King of the Ring and saying his famous catchphrase, the Austin 316 said, "I just whipped your ass," promo that became iconic ever since. Bringing up that a couple days ago was the 29th anniversary of that special moment in time, so that's why I'm talking about this right now. So there's that. So that's another iconic moment. After that, he would go on to win multiple WWE championships, have rivalries with some of the likes of The Undertaker, Kane, Vince McMahon and his stooges, Triple H, The Rock, you name it, several different people, spanning several decades until he took his right spot on the Hall of Fame, and he continues to do work with the company. Another iconic superstar is The Rock, aka Rocky Maivia, aka Dwayne Johnson. He currently holds a position with a TKO company that's helping run WWE now as the final boss. He started out his career as a university football player in Miami, Florida. His father was Rocky Johnson, and he had an uncle that also wrestled. You want to talk about a little bit about this? Hi, Chief.
He did. And as with The Rock now, there were people that liked him, people that didn't. But as far as wrestling ability, they both held are icons, both held a place, and both knew how to get attention.
Nicknames for The Rock include the Most Electrifying Man, the Final Boss, the Brahma Bull, the Great One. And he also had a lot of rivalries with the likes of Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon and his family, numerous different people. John Cena, too, which he aligned himself with recently. Alright, one of the last ones we're going to talk about is, of course, Kane. Kane he started out a long time ago. He's had multiple gimmicks, but not too many of them worked out until he started the Kane gimmick. He was Christmas Preacher, he was the Unabomber, he was Isaac Yankem, Fake Diesel, and then finally Kane. The Christmas Preacher, if I remember right, he did that in Memphis, Tennessee for Lawler's company and other promotions. Came to the WWE not too long after having a match with The Undertaker as the Unabomber. But before that, did a lot of work with Al Snow, also known as Leif Cassidy. And shortly after that, he came to the WWE and started doing his character Isaac Yankem that played the evil dentist for Jerry the King Lawler and had multiple matches with Bret Hart and The Undertaker. Not too long after that, he started playing Fake Diesel after Jim Ross brought out Fake Diesel and Fake Razor after the Real Razor and Real Diesel left for WCW as a parody of him to make fun of him. Months later, when they realized that wasn't going to work either, they brought him out at Bad Blood 1997. This is official debut game. By ripping the cage door off the Hell in a Cell during the first Hell in a Cell match ever, interrupting Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker to help Shawn Michaels get the win. Since then, one of his biggest rivalries of all time has been with his storyline brother, The Undertaker, and some of the others we mentioned, Stone Cold, Triple H, the McMahons, multiple people, Van Dam, Evolution, multiple people. I'm probably going to do a part 2 eventually, but for this is done for this. I'm going to be doing mini podcast episodes. Because I'm not a person that likes to sit and just talk for too long.
You're going to do podcasts on a variety of subjects, right?
Yes. Alright, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Got a little tongue-tied there, but it doesn't matter. Like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you know when I'm going to be posting. Thank you very much.